Now, hopefully I have not released this exact video before, because it's been many years of releasing videos, and it's certainly not the first video I release on how to distinguish an INFJ from an INFP. But I like to release little tidbits. It occurred to me that there's a wealth of insight that can be gained from a subtle distinction, right? And it's getting to the difference between INFJs and INFPs, but also between INFJs and ENFPs, between ENFJs and ENFPs, and so forth. There's a difference between an emotion and a feeling. Now, I think that intuitively most of you know this, but you might not be able to capture what the difference is. An emotion is something that we all feel, right? Everyone has emotions, and in fact everyone has the same emotions. We all feel the primary emotions: pain, disgust, joy, fear, surprise, and so on and so forth. Feelings are not just the pure processing of emotions. Feelings, if you like, a formula for feelings would be something like emotion plus life, right? A feeling is always the expression of how your emotions are colored by the particular life trajectory that you've had, including what's happened to you and what you've done. In the things that have happened to you, there are historical things, there are also biological things, and things about your being, what kind of person you are, what kind of type you are, in fact, from a Jungian perspective. So an INFJ and an INFP have the same emotions. In fact, an INFJ and an ISTP have the same emotions. But coming back to INFJ and INFP, they don't have the same feelings, and they don't have the same relationship to feeling. The expression of INFP feeling is very personal. It's very private to who they are. They are their own feeling echo chamber, if you like, echo chamber. There's an inner resonance. It doesn't depend on the outside. In the case of the INFJ, it depends on the outside. In order to articulate itself into a feeling, the emotion has to universalize. That's what's sometimes called being validated by the tribe. That gives a sense that INFJs can be a little bit inauthentic in the expression of feeling, but in fact, a lot of the time, the emotion that is turned into a feeling not via validation by the tribe in an actual sense. It's not like the INFJ is going out and asking people if they validate that particular emotion in that moment. It's something that they do themselves. They check, they think, is this appropriate to the world as a whole? Can I universalize this? And then they express it, but it's something that they do by themselves the vast majority of the time. And one way in which this typically manifests is intellectualization. That is to say that a lot of the time, the majority of the time, INFJs, when they talk about emotions, that is to say, when they turn their emotions into feelings, they abstract. They make things general. In other words, they intellectualize. So they cover the emotion in a layer of intellectualization, which can feel very detached and aloof to an INFP who does not do this. So when an INFP expresses how they feel, it systematically comes across as a pure expression of how they're feeling. Pure subjectivity. Whereas in the case of the INFJ, the subjectivity is mediated by an objectivity, which is the universalization. And that comes across as slightly intellectualized. Okay? So if you ever feel like there is this slight wall between the pure emotion and how you're expressing it, that's a sign of intellectualization. And if you're only hesitating between INFP and INFJ, a strong indication you're an INFJ. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video, guys. Give me a like, this helps. And don't forget, I've written 2 books on the INFJ, the latest one being The Infinite Soul on INFJ Life in the Modern World. Check the link below if you want to know more. It's already helped a lot of people, and so has the Ecstatic Soul. Then you look at the INFJ personality. That's the deepest investigation into the type and the mind of the INFJ. Okay? And as usual, guys, don't forget that I very much depend on your kind support on Patreon. The link is below if you'd like to support me. You get access to some cool perks like access to our Discord server where you can interact with me there and the others, as well as bonus videos every 2-3 weeks on a topic of your choosing. See you guys soon. Thank you so much.